अबे
अबे
हाँ
अरे
चल
कौतुक, क्या हो गया तेरे को? तेरा
बहुत बेटर
स्किन
लग
इज
रहा
लाइक फकिंग परफेक्ट.
I've been moisturizing, guys.
है ये दिस इज द मोस्ट हॉरिफिक
How did it's so accurate? That's
दैट्स
what's scary.
दैट्स फकिंग फ्रीकी ब्रो। अगर अगर तू एक एनिमेटेड कैरेक्टर, मैं डरता तेरे से।
हाँ,
तेरे में वो
Okay,
वाइब आ रही है।
it's time for the real horror.
this is metaversed. Oh, oh God, this is scary now.
हाँ तो
Guys,
तेरे पास कुछ था।
if you guys think this is scary, I would like you to see the most horrific horror scene in all of Bollywood. Please, have you ever seen? You've heard of the Mona Lisa, but have you heard of Monalisa the Witch?
मोनालिसा द विच।
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
राइट नाउ इट्स अ ब्लैक स्क्रीन।
Oh, because you are black screen, sharing black screen. Oh,
oh,
फक दैट वाज
अबे
स्कैरी।
yeah, that was
वाज
scary.
जस्ट
But ये क्यों नहीं आ रही है मेरी मोनालिसा?
Arey, because you've got a virtual background.
oh
Oh.
fuck that. Actually I think how much I've ever seen it. Oh fuck that was weird.
Okay, one second. One second. I have to solve this. Guys, मैंने virtual background डाला था so that I could create the environment of horror. But right, एक second मेरे को virtual background हटाना पड़ेगा to expose this horrific sight. एक second. Because you must see this. And the thing is, अगर इन लोग को हंसी नहीं आई इस पे, then this is really sad.
बहुत बड़ा risk है ये.
Okay.
Oh
Oh
God, completely ruined the vibe.
yeah,
Yeah.
can't believe there is light. ऐसा कैसा तेरे उधर लाइट है और हमारे इधर डार्क है?
See, I'll tell you how the
Country
tilt
के
of the
कौन से
earth
part में?
works.
अच्छा.
देखा?
Okay, so this is Monalisa the Witch.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this clip. It's hilarious.
Oh
But why?
oh
एक तो
अरे
वो बेचारा he's humping her hair.
shit.
Also Monalisa की आँख कैसे बड़ी हो जाती है? It's like आज तो तू गया बे.
By the way,
oh
attention to detail is
अरे
outstanding.
आग चेंज हो गई, आग
Yeah.
चेंज हो गई।
हाँ, आँख change होती है. She changes and gets angrier and she's getting why? What has he done to the Monalisa though? What did he do to Mona?
1 second, how the fuck did this guy get his hands on the Mona Lisa to begin with? Why is it put above his charpai? What the fuck? What the fuck? That's funny.
Look, can you imagine being the security guard at the Louvre after having seen this?
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
वो बोलेगा
But ये
आप
उन्होंने
चोरी
अच्छा
करके
किया
लेके
है।
जाओ भाई, वो मोनालिसा वापस आ जाएगी. वो अपने बालों से ड्रैग करके वापस अपने फ्रेम पे चढ़ेगी.
ये
This,
पिक्चर
this
का नाम क्या है?
is Grona Lisa.
मोना मत लिसा,
अरे बाल को धोना लीसा।
दोनालिसा,
हाँ चल।
मरोनालिसा.
बट ये तो था हम लोग का कोल्ड ओपन, ये एपिसोड नहीं है क्योंकि विद आवर सेटिंग यू कैन सी दैट बाय पॉपुलर डिमांड वी आर बैक टू येट अनदर हॉरर एपिसोड। तो चालू करते हैं एपिसोड इन 3, 2, 1। Hello and welcome to another episode of the Internet Set. So, a show we take random incident, where facts are taken on personal stories and we talk about it. And guys, आज horror story में मैं एक personal story लेके आया हूँ.
Oh,
For
come on.
starters, okay,
मस्त.
which is quite freaky. So I don't know if you guys remember, लेकिन थोड़े time पहले, I think about sometime 6-8 months ago, I told you guys that you know Banksy, like my parents stay 3 floors below me, okay, and he used to be there all the time. He's been there from a very young age, so he's very happy. He loves going there. But for a brief period, every time he would go in, he would just go, turn around, and stand back by the door. He would not cross a
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
threshold. You know, I kept telling you guys,
Yeah, yeah, you
अजीब
told
है यार,
me
तो
that.
we thought एक दो बार कर रहा है कुछ. You know, he must have heard some, because he was young then, right? He must have heard some thud or something, and that scared him. So that's what replays in his head, some shit like that. But it didn't stop. Every time we'd go down, he would literally go, take a turn, come back, like clockwork. And like my parents after a point started feeling really bad, like because they love him, right? And like a dog who would come running, jump on their bed, sleep in between them is now refusing to go beyond like 5 steps. He literally stops at that. So we used to wonder what's going on. Then we asked the trainer. The trainer's like, you need to overexpose him to the place, make it easier. Because she is obviously going to find a rational solution to this problem, right? और हम लोग के इसमें चालू हो गया है because you can't avoid the discussion of, oh, he's a dog, maybe he is seeing a spirit.
Huh.
And like, as much as you don't want to believe it, a part of you does go towards that because we've heard stories of dogs having that sense that they can sense, beings and this. You've heard these stories, right? And it came to a point that we actually, like, we got a havan done. Because that would maybe, like, we've tried everything, let's try this also, and it eventually did stop. But it was like you can't say it for sure that it was the Havan that stopped it, or the fact that we were overexposing him to the place, and then it became not like it got normalized more and more. So he got okay, or he grew up, whatever, unexplained, right? But the behavior was weird to a point where my mom actually sent me a picture. She said, I clearly remember he was down playing in the living room with my brother, and they were both, like Banksy treats Karan like another dog.
Huh.
Literally, he's the only member of the family. Like, उसको ऐसे
You're my
करन
dog,
देखते हैं,
bro.
उसको लगता है कि ये कुत्ता है जो दो पैर में खड़ा है, तो उसके साथ literally they play while biting each other. ऐसा वाला scene है उन लोगों का, ठीक है? So they were playing, and at one point, my mom loves taking pictures, right? So she's constantly taking pictures. So she's taken one picture where Banksy had come down like that, and Karan was in front, but for a brief second he looked there. And my mom has managed to catch that picture, and she sent me the picture. She's like, this is the exact moment he looked at her and he barked loudly. There was nothing, but he barked. And from that day onwards, you start going into.
Ugh.
So when I saw that picture, dude, I will show it to you. जब अगली बार मिलेंगे ना, तो he's literally like that, looking up. And then once you've heard the story, even if you don't want to believe, you can't not think about it. Your mind does go towards it. We are looking at it like, shit, what if he's seen something, whatever. All of those things have happened. Cut to, he's become okay now. So we're like, chal theek hai. Because my Nani used to live with my parents, right, on in their house. And then she had, the middle room was hers. And she passed away last year. So we used to always think, maybe it's Nani who's there. But like, you're like, why are you barking? Or why are you scared of Nani? Because Nani loves you, right? So why would Banksy be scared of her? Is it her? Whatever. Last week, Nikita's mom was visiting. Okay, and every time she's here, she'll come, she'll chill with us, then she'll go down, play rummy with my parents, and like they sit and talk for hours late into the night, and then she many times stays there at my parents' house. So this night, my mom and her are playing cards till 3, 4, whatever, 2 o'clock, whatever, and then she goes to sleep. Next morning, Nikita's gotten a message that she's not slept all night because she could see my Nani. Is what she felt. So not necessarily seen her, but she felt it, and she just could not sleep.
Oh boy.
फिर
And then
Oh boy.
then
Creepy.
you'll play some music or whatever. So she had put Hanuman Chalisa, she had put the audio. So but she could still not get sleep. So she wasn't scared, but also not scared. But also, you know what I mean? Like
Creepy.
sometimes if it just, I don't know. So even the next day she had work, and also she's done. She's come back from work and she's like, I don't know what happened. I felt like that. Now the second she has said something like this, automatically now we're going back to, oh wait, was it Nani who Banksy was seeing at that point? Is it something actually still there?
There is like, just to sort of like, there is one thing that they say ki, the reason that sniffer dogs can do their job is that there are trace elements of the person, like that still exist long after they're gone, which is the thing that they're smelling and sort of going behind.
Mm.
So I like it's the thought that like popped into my head when you said this, like, because like oftentimes, like, this thing about I remember we had spoken about this, like, one of the older ghost stories, the fact that when people leave, it takes a long time of adjustment, right, before you get used to their presence not being there. Like, I
Yeah.
remember when my grandmother passed, I would enter the house and just look and imagine that she's there, like, because that's how she would always be, that you would enter the
Yeah.
house, you would look to the side, and then she would be like, on the bed. So yeah, creepy. Did she say what sort of way that she saw, like, was she
No,
seeing,
like,
was your mother-in-law
that's the
seeing
thing.
her?
Like, she's seen it. She's hallucinating that she's seen it. She's in her sleep. But there was a feeling that she had. And, it's not there, but you can still see it, but it's also not there. But now that you've thought it, you can't get it out of your head. I don't know. Must be something like that. It's so weird. You
But
can't really explain it.
she was
Like,
in the room, like she was in
in the
your
room.
Nani's room.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Oof.
it happened the other night. I was asleep, and at some point in time, my eyes have opened out of, I don't know why. It just happened to open, and from my bed you can, the bathroom's this way, and the way out, the door is that side, and यहाँ से construction वो सब चले तो रात को light पड़ा तो so you get some shadows, dude. I literally thought there was a fucking person standing there. And because you're half asleep, I felt it, and immediately, like, it shifted in a second because I was able to get my bed and my नहीं छूते तो क्या तो बज रहा है सोया था तो just woken up, and कि तेरे को थोड़ा सा भी कुछ shape वेप दिख जाता है, light आ जाती है in a certain way, certain shadow. Human brain is just doing that, right? It makes it up for you. So
Yeah. Like shapes in a cloud.
yeah, shapes in a cloud, like we saw in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Oof.
Dude, मेरा घर पे था
Crazy.
when we had just moved in. Aparna had a couple of, you know, she had a couple of wigs where she had a different color, like a maroon wig and stuff like that, where it's different from her normal hair color. तो उसके लिए उसने वो खरीदा था वह she props it onto a thing.
Oh, those.
So now we had moved into a new house. This is the new house at Golders Green. अभी एक कमरे में एक बेडरूम है और सामने वाले कमरे में हमने सारे के सारे डब्बे डाले एक के ऊपर एक के ऊपर एक. But the delicate stuff we've removed. I've removed all my electronics. So Anaparna's removed this wig. Wig is one of the things. उसने अच्छे से करके डब्बे के ऊपर रखा है. Now this is a new house. मैं निकला हूँ टॉयलेट जाने के लिए. And while coming back, there's light coming, and I just see a 6 foot tall silhouette with hair just coming out like this. मेरी जो गांड फटी है.
Fuck.
I'm like, निकलो यहाँ से, निकलो ये घर से निकलो.
या तो घर से निकला तो रेंट कम करो.
रेंट कम कर.
अगर मैं भूत के साथ रह रहा हूँ तो मैं कम पैसा दे रहा हूँ. Fuck, crazy.
Speaking of भूत के साथ रहना, I've got one short offer, and I'd like to ask you guys, would you guys take up this offer? Okay, so this is a job offer that has been circulating around on social media. It is at a Scottish castle. Okay. And I will reveal the castle to you later on, but you have to agree to whether you want to do it or not do it. Okay. So in this castle, it's a lovely 17th century castle. It looks gorgeous. And you will be paid £75,000 a year to go there and do the castle upkeep. It's a huge place. So it is a tall order. It's going to be worth the amount of money you're being paid because it's just you and your wife. मतलब they are asking for ideally couples to
हाँ,
come in
मतलब
and move
अकेला
in.
आदमी जाके पागल हो जाएगा. शाइनिंग देखी हम लोग ने भाई.
हाँ. तो move into the house. And just mowing the lawns is enough, like 4 महीने का काम है. So it is hard work, but it is gorgeous. anything that will be coming up in the castle, कुछ problem हुआ, you tell the guy, he will pay you the money and you can get it fixed. You can get a specialist to come and fix those things. No tension there. बस वो castle में एक ही problem है.
What's the catch?
There is a girl called Sarah who died there 130 years ago. Now, there have been reports that whoever takes up this job, they report that she scratches their back in the night. नॉट लाइक ऐसा ऐसा हाँ
खुजली कर
बहुत
वैसा
हाँ
नहीं।
खुजली नहीं कर रही है कि तू है थोड़ा सहरा लेफ्ट में करना
इधर
थोड़ा
इधर
पहुंचना नहीं वैसा नहीं यू वेक अप विथ स्क्रैच मार्क्स लाइक इट्स नॉट लाइक चाकू से नहीं है बट देयर आर स्क्रैच मार्क्स लाइक इट्स वन ऑफ दोस यू हैड अ नाइट ऑफ टेरिफिक सेक्स वाला स्क्रैच मार्क्स
is it sexual scratch mark? No.
नो नो
It's
इट्स
just
बैड हाँ ऐसा
The
थोड़ा सा खून
description
निकल
of
रहा है
it
बट
is
नहीं निकल रहा है
okay.
okay.
That's it. That's all she does.
That's all she does. And then
No,
there's
but like, will
occasionally
that-
there's tip tick tuck 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 happening in the house. That you have to be okay with that. But the only thing she does is comes and scratches your back.
Yeah, but like, is that gonna fucking get me some disease from a ghost? I don't know.
That you have
Just
to prepare
scratch
for. You
एक
have
बार
to-
ही
you have
करेगी
to-
ना कि रोज करेगी कि एक बार करेगी?
जब उसका मूड होता है.
अबे जब मतलब
अबे वो
वो
शेड्यूल
पूरा
पे
एक
थोड़ी
साल
तेरा बैक हॉन्टिंग करेगी. ओके आज
नहीं तो
ट्यूसडे है. आज
अबे you
मंगलवार
said
है.
she comes and
मंगलवार पे
scratches your back. So is that just happening once or like it's happening anytime, all the time? It can happen
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day of the. Fuck
they
that. Then
normally
क्यों
they
करो?
report at least once a month she
How
scratches.
much? How much am I getting paid?
75,000 pounds, almost 1 crore
Okay.
rupees.
Into 127 कर
हाँ तो
अभी
almost 1 crore
128 हो
रुपया
गया
टाइप.
होगा।
हाँ
So, see, I would take it up, and I'd have to have this.
Balls.
I'd have to have this chat with Sarah, going like, "Listen, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours." So, तू मैं 1 करोड़ के लिए भाई
and you're saying Siddhi will not get jealous. You're scratching a ghost's back.
Oh, I think jealousy is probably going to come second. First is Kautuk को भूत scratch कर रहा है.
No, Siddhi would
बहुत.
love. Her dream
वो
is
सारा की portraits बना रही है. Sarah's posing for her.
No.
Oh yeah, she is also there ना.
हाँ.
दोनों जाएंगे ना.
दोनों scratch हो रहे हैं ना एक साथ. तो now the thing is कि Siddhi loves these castles and all. Like it would be her dream. कि oh, we're staying in a castle. It's authentic castle experience because there's also ghost. तो
But you're getting physical injury. रोज scratch कर रहे हैं भाई.
अरे but ठीक है 1 करोड़ के लिए. Like, think about
But you
this.
would want your daughter to grow up in a ghost castle with Sarah.
I mean, at least there's company, right? The thing I'm thinking about is कि with the ghost, like okay, it's way harder to earn that money. Like imagine यहाँ तो सिर्फ scratch हो रहा है ना, यहाँ तो सिर्फ scratch हो रहा है, बाकी
अबे लेकिन देखो झाड़ू पोछा भी करना है भाई. वो
पोछा भी
कासल में बैठ के सिर्फ स्क्रैच होने के लिए तेरे को 1 करोड़ नहीं दे रहा कोई. चूती एक है. देखो करना पड़ेगा.
सुबह उठ के काम भी करना है. And तू धूप में काम कर रहा है with scratches on your back.
Yeah, no chance, bro. I decline the offer. Sorry.
I think I'd take it.
पूरी बैक स्क्रैच थे तेरी और तू उधर घास काट रहा है. Yuck.
That's all she does, huh? उससे ज्यादा नहीं कर रही है. She's not
ज़्यादा
coming
नहीं
into
कर
your
रही है.
body. She's not. It's only scratching your back. This is the weird Sarah fetish.
Look, Thakur, of all the things that ghosts are capable of, this is one of the level 1 things.
Bro, but if she scratches you every day for 365 days, eventually you're going to die, I guess. How many scratches kills
They report once a month, from what I'm seeing.
report
Most people
मतलब
are there.
इधर contract थोड़ी
reporting
sign
once a
किया
month,
किसी ने.
and then noises in the house. But once a month she'll come and
Noise क्या है?
वो टक 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 रात को सोते
The
हुए
classics.
things are
अच्छा,
moving.
वही.
She is basically she's just a BCom ghost. उसने MBA ये सब नहीं किया. तो graduate नहीं किया.
तो ये घोस्ट मारती क्यों नहीं है? जो उधर रिसाइड कर रहे हैं उनको मारती क्यों नहीं है? कुछ
It
है
was a
इसका?
young girl, so it was like a teenage girl. So उसका भी her
उसमें क्या
idea
होगा?
of
चाकू से मार देना.
हाँ चाकू वाकू नहीं. She just enjoys this, and you will hear laughter. There's also
Fuck,
like
that's
there'll be-
creepy. That's
No,
first. I don't want to hear a creepy
It's like she's
laughter
doing
anyway.
mischief. तेरा back scratch करके she enjoys it. So it's more like she doesn't want to, be like horrible.
decline.
She's just like, I want to enjoy myself.
I decline.
Yeah, interesting. I think I would still. But it would also make for a very interesting visa process. कि आप क्या करने जा रहे हो?
भूत
नहीं, इसके
बंगला.
लिए अलग वीजा लगेगा.
इसके लिए अलग.
ये एक्स्ट्रॉर्डिनरी एबिलिटी ये कि भाई उधर तेरे को इमिग्रेशन में पूछ रहे, so you're going to get your back
Go,
scratched.
Ghostal talent visa.
Okay. Okay, let me tell you
Okay, I
guys.
just want to clarify, guys. This is an AI job offer that people have been circulating, and it has gone super viral on the internet. Somebody played a practical joke using generic Scottish castle, and people have applied by the throngs. Kautuk, you are not alone. There's
I was
hundreds
never
and
alone. I always
thousands of
had
people
Tara.
who have applied के भाई मैं करेगा ये.
मैं तो बैक स्क्रैच होने के लिए ready हूँ.
Ah,
At least somebody will touch me
thousands
that
of
way.
people. It went so viral. People are putting it on job forums, and people are like, "Yes, मैं जाएगा."
क्या
Dude,
बात
Thakur,
कर रहे हैं भाई.
I'm telling you, every other job in the world is far harder and more boring than getting back
Back
scratched by
scratcher.
it.
नहीं यार, अपन कमा लेंगे
There
अपने
are
पैसे मैचो.
many worse jobs out there.
Yeah,
Please write in comments whether you would give up your job
yeah.
and immediately take
Go
up
to
back
castle.
scratching. Go to castle. Okay. Um, Chalo, let me tell you guys one story. So, okay, so before I continue, this is not AI job offer and all of that. This is actual ghost story, and here's how it goes. So what happens is that it's a story of this one businessman. So this businessman had to travel to this very small town, and the reason he had to travel there was because his manufacturing unit was set up in this small town. So he goes there. Now he's this really sort of he's a being a business person and being a particular type of business person, he's very careful with his money, tries to save money wherever he can. And because he has this nature, he ends up picking one particular hotel that was giving the most dirt cheap rates in a town that already had dirt cheap rates. So he goes to this particular hotel. He enters. The hotel looks very ramshackle. Okay. And he enters this place and he sees that there is a reception area. Behind this reception area, there's this very jovial looking man. Okay. He sees him, he greets this businessman and he says, "Welcome. Uh, how can we help you?" He says, "I'm looking for a room to stay the night." So he says, "No problem. We have lots of rooms." Now the receptionist introduces himself, says, "Ki my name is Ratnakar." Okay, and they make conversation, and the businessman asks him this question. He says, "Your hotel, it's very cheap. What's the catch?" So he says, he laughs it off, and he says, Ratnakar says, "Sir, the only thing is we have freshly painted all the rooms, so there will be a slight paint ka smell in the entire hotel. That's the reason that we have decided to discount our rates." So the businessman is a little annoyed by this because he's a very fastidious person, very sort of, he's a neat freak. He doesn't like, odd smells and things that are out of place and untidy and things like that. But he says, what? Between these two qualities in his personality, the side of him that values a cheap room wins. And he says, "I'll take the room." He's given the key. He goes up. And when he opens the room, as promised, a waft of smell hits him. It's this awful painty smell, right? And he makes a face, he puts down his bag, he looks around, and he sees that oddly enough, the entire room, the walls are dry. He goes and touches them, they're completely dry. And this smell is just hitting him incessantly. He looks around the room, he sees that, it's a spare room. Okay, that completely matches this ramshackle hotel that he's checked into. The room has a decent sized bed, it has a TV, it has these curtains, there's those classic hotel paintings on the side, right? It goes, opens the bathroom, and he says, "The smell has to be coming from here." When he opens the bathroom, a mirror, a commode, a shower area, everything tiled. Nothing in this place has been freshly painted, and yet the smell is overwhelming. So he quickly showers. He's neatly laid out all his clothes because that's the kind of person he is. He quickly showers, changes, and heads out for his meeting. Now he goes to his manufacturing unit. Things go really well for him, and he finishes his meetings, his conversations, etc., and he's heading back. Now, as he's heading back, he manages to pass by some of the town, and he stops at a place to eat. When he comes out of this eatery, he sees that there are these posters that are plastered on the wall in this town, and the posters have a thing that says missing. And he sees that there is a man's face, and the guy has gone missing 3 weeks ago. Now he looks at this, he says whatever, and gets in his car and gets into his taxi, drives back to the hotel. Now he gets out and goes to the hotel, picks up, he sees that in the time that he has gone and come, there's nobody else that's been at the hotel. As he walks by this time, he sees that at the reception, there is no one there. Ratnakar is not at the reception. He makes his way back to his room, enters. The paint smell has reduced. He now, gets ready for the night, switches off the light, goes to sleep. Now, in the middle of the night, he wakes up. The reason he's woken up is because he has been hit by another wave of the nauseating, terrible, incessant paint smell. He just can't sleep. He tosses and he turns. He tries to put his face into the pillow and sleep. But no matter what he does, that smell keeps percolating through. It keeps hitting his nostrils and he just can't take it. So he sits up in his bed, right? He switches on the light, right? And he looks around. And the walls are just as dry. He looks at the TV, nothing has changed. He looks at the curtains, nothing has changed. He looks at the bathroom, the door is shut just as it always was. And then he looks to the side and he sees the painting. And his blood runs cold because the painting has changed color. It was red when he had entered the room. It's now dark brown. And when he looks at this painting, the other reason his blood has run cold is because the man on the missing poster, it's the exact same face on that painting. Now he's creeped out by this. He walks up to the painting and he touches it. And he sees that the red has come off. It's on his hands. And the smell that he was thinking is fresh paint was actually the metallic tang of blood. Now he immediately puts on his shoes. He doesn't think twice about picking up any more luggage, nothing. He runs out of the room, runs down the stairs. And when he gets to the reception, he sees that there's no one at the reception. But a door is open behind the reception. And beyond that door, a yellow light casts this dim light in a room beyond. And in the room beyond, he sees Ratnakar working on a canvas. And in the brief glimpse that he catches before he runs out into the night, he sees that Ratnakar was making his portrait.
Fuck.
That's the story.
Hard. Ratnakar and Shod.
Sala.
And this is a wonderfully thematic story considering the start. that the podcast had.
Ah, bichara.
Fuck. Bro, imagine if you would actually do that with blood.
And like, this is one of those classic cases where, people want to pursue their passion, but they're forced to do something else. Uh, Ratnakar never wanted to run a hotel, wanted to just be a painter. And when you repress that artistic urge, it comes out in the worst ways.
And his best painting was the first time he did it. And then he got the knack of it. Fuck, ये crazy story हो सकती है भाई, पिक्चर बन सकती है. खून से पेंटिंग बना रहा है.
If any of the Bhatts are watching this, please get in touch.
Didn't one of the murders have something to do with some painting?
Did one of the murders? अच्छा,
एक मर्डर कुछ
in
हॉरर
the
वाला भी
franchise.
खेला था ना उन लोग ने.
If you are a murder aficionado, please write it in the comments which exact murder. And we're talking about the film series, not crimes that have been committed.
Since we were talking about Banksy earlier, I'll tell you the story. It's called The Dog Door. Okay, and it's about this woman. She has a kid from a previous marriage. Okay, then she meets this guy, falls in love. Guy is very sweet with the kid. They also get a dog because the guy didn't want another kid of his own. He was happy to just parent this ones. And the girl had basically from her family, she had gotten a house that her parents had bought at some point in time. Parents passed away. So in the will, she got this house. This was something just for an investment purpose that they had done at some point. Now she moves into this new house with her now husband and her son and their dog. Okay, so the dog is like a medium-sized. It's not a lab, but it's also not Banksy size. Little like beach mein. And this is like this old like wooden house. Where you walk to thoda, it always creaks. It's surrounded by greenery on all sides. From the kitchen side door, the back door just opens up into like this massive ground, right? And even the previous owners, what they had done is that they had made a door, but with a small dog door, enough for this dog also to go. So the first thing when they come to this house, the dog goes and he goes through that and he just starts running. So looking at that, they're like, we're not going to stop him from doing this. Like this was like he just instinctively went through that and he went outside, started running around. So they're like, we'll retain the door. They do some other changes in the house. They start living there. And really good, happy couple for the initial part. Kid is growing well, no problem at all. One night, the kid just wakes up and he feels that he has heard somebody laughing. Not loudly, but the kind of laugh that you do when you're trying to suppress your laughter. So, it's not ha ha ha. It's like you want to laugh, but you don't want to wake anybody up. So, how? Aisa wala aata na when you're trying to suppress it. So, the kid hears it. He goes, as he walks, again, when he's walking, you can hear the creaks of the floor. So, he goes to the door, it stops. He goes back to sleep. Doesn't tell his mom anything, doesn't tell his dad anything. Continues. This happens a couple of times more. He can hear like muffled footsteps. He can hear the dog. Okay? So he starts getting scared. Eventually he tells his mom that, I feel there's somebody in the house. So like most parents do in the beginning, they'll be like, oh, maybe you're hearing, it's crickety, the floor, the house is a old build, because it's also surrounded by trees and there are those mature trees, whose branches almost sort of reach your window pane and they clink on it at night. That sort of a environment. So they're sort of putting it onto that. The kid obviously is scared, but he's still brave enough to be like, okay, fine, there's nothing wrong. One night he hears the laughter again. And unlike most kids who would sort of be scared, he decides to go open the door. As he opens the door, he sees somebody in like a black hood. You can just see the silhouette So he screams loudly, and then the person sort of disappears. Parents wake up, they come out, and they're like, "What happened?" He said there was somebody there. He was wearing a black like hoodie. I couldn't see the face, but there was somebody there. They put the lights on. You know, you have a coat hanger, right? So you put the coat on that. You put your jackets or whatever. So one of the hoodies was kept on it. So the parents are like, okay, maybe a lot of kids get sleep tremors, they get scared. So he has come out, he has seen that, and in the shadow and the light, he's felt that there's somebody there. I felt it the other night. So, something similar the kid must have felt. So they brush it away. What starts happening is that the mom and dad, they start fighting a lot. And it's getting bad to a point where they decide that they're going to separate. It's gotten that bad. So in a bitter sort of breakup, she keeps the house, but he takes the dog. They're back now. They're living in the house. Everything seems to be okay. Till one day, she's sitting and watching TV with the kid. She's trying to look for her phone, realizes it's in the kitchen. Walks to the kitchen, takes her phone, turns around to put it on charge. But there are times when it happens when you sort of turn around and something catches your eye. Something catches her eye, and she can't shake that feeling of it's something not good. It's barely like one glimpse like that. She's just taken the phone, turned around and felt it. Felt it to a point where she was scared to even turn around. Like that feel of dread just come, and she stops in her way, and she's now scared. Now she's just standing there in the kitchen. The kid is like, "Mommy, come here. The movie is on." "Yes, I'm coming." She's still not even looking at him. She's so scared, filled with dread. Somehow musters up the courage, turns around. As she turns around from the kitchen door and the window, you can see that open grass, right? She sees a person there in a black hoodie, staring at the house. Still, motionless, just staring. And she also knows that where the person is standing, from there, even they can see that I am seeing them. So it's not one of those, I'll just come and stand and I can't tell what's happening. Whoever this person is, can very well tell from there that somebody is seeing, still doesn't move. So at this point in time, her phone, because the battery was dead, she turns around, her laptop's open. The first person who's online, she messages saying, literally like WhatsApp web, messages and says, a person outside my house staring at me. If I don't message back in few minutes, call the cops. Sends it and keeps the phone on, hoping for it to charge. Now, after she's seen it, she's ducked and she doesn't have the balls to look up. Okay, her kid is wondering why she's crawling and not just walking like she normally would. Keeps him down. He's asking her what's happened. She's like, no, nothing. I'm just playing a game, trying to distract him. At the same time, scared, waiting for that phone to fucking charge so that she can call 911. All of this is happening. Suddenly she can see the phone is on where the charger is. The phone lights up. So she knows, okay, it's come back on. But she still doesn't have the guts to get up and see whoever this person is. So she literally crawls, army crawls her way, goes up, takes the phone, calls 911, very calmly trying to tell the dispatcher that there is someone outside my house in the lawn staring at me. I do not like it. Please send, cops to my house. Then they'll always ask you follow-up questions. Ma'am, are you able to see it? Is this person still there? You said it was in the lawn. Can you get up and take a glimpse, describe us how this person, all those sorts of things, because whatever. So she now tries to muster up the courage of slowly going, getting up, trying to see through the window if this person is still there. So she does that. She's on the speaker with the cops in the meantime, gets up, looks, the person is not there, and suddenly comes in front of them. She ducks down. Again, you can just see a black silhouette just come in front of you. She ducks down, goes to the kid, covers his eyes, gets up, does not want to turn behind. She hears the dog door flap. And she's like, fuck it, I don't care, takes the kid, opens the main door, runs out, leaving the door open. Just straight runs out, does not look behind, goes to the neighbors across the street. They get her in, they call the cops from there. She had just seen a fleeting glimpse while picking her son up, and she could see a hand do this. That's why she didn't want to turn around and look. She went to pick up her son, and from your corner of your eye, you can still see. She could see hand, nothing else. Runs out, calls the cops. The cops show up. They actually apprehend a woman.
A woman.
Yes, who was just sitting there outside the house.
Oh, fuck.
No identification, nothing. She's a thin, frail woman, looks like she's sick. Definitely has had some sort of a mental breakdown. She's just there, and then they're like, "What are you doing here?" And she only says one thing: "I was just waiting for him to come back." That's what they tell the woman whose house it was. Uh, they're fine. She's like, "You're safe to go back." She seals up the dog door. A month later, she gets a call. She's like, "So we did some digging into this person. So she used to live here.
Oh.
The house has passed many hands. She used to live here. And one night there was a home invasion in her house. And in that, the burglar shot the dog because the dog was barking. She has witnessed this traumatic incident firsthand. And from then, she's not been able to recover from it. Her parents have passed away. She was in a mental care, something of that sort, but wanted to live by herself. She saw this dog when they had moved in here. And for her, it was like her dog has come back. Even though it was clearly not even the same breed, nothing, but just running through the thing. Then the lady whose house it was started putting things together. So what used to happen is that this woman, because she was so thin and frail, and the dog door was enough for like a mid-sized dog to go through, she would come in through that every night. Every night, matlab every other night, play with the dog, give the dog treats, talk to the dog. The person laughing that the kid used to hear was him, because they found a diary in her house where she would write, today he said he did this, yesterday we played here, and there were dates and everything she did with the dog at that time, till one point where the entry stopped because they separated. The guy took the dog and there was no dog after that, so she was just trying to come back in. But for the first time, instead of hiding and coming in at night, she's come in the day. She wanted to talk to them and ask them what they did to him. Why is he not coming anymore?
Bye.
God, every pet parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Bro, like losing a dog, losing any pet for that matter, it's like, even my last last dog that I had was almost 15, 20 years ago. Maybe I was 16, 23 years ago. And we had to give him away because in the end we couldn't take care because parents are working. I was in college, current school, nobody to take care, wasn't working out, so we gave him away, unfortunately, to another family. He met with an accident and we hadn't seen him. I mean, it was almost 2 years after we had given him away, but even to hear that, it took us a while. He'd gone for 2 years. He was with us for barely 7 months, 8 months. But that bond that you form, it's
Yeah. That's an incredibly sad story. Like
And that's
I
what
can understand why she would lose it. I can understand.
no one.
Especially like somehow every pet owner did not find John Wick going on a murder rampage because they killed his dog. Like it was not unjust. हाँ ठीक है मारा
हाँ तो
हाँ
सही तो
करेक्ट
किया.
जो किया कि हाँ सही किया.
That's true.
By the way, hotel तू hotel का बोल रहा था ना कौतुक. I had something that had popped up and I had kept it on the side. Have we spoken about this? Have you heard of the Langham Hotel and the England cricket team?
I've heard of
No.
this.
So the Langham Hotel in London is supposed to be one of the most haunted hotels. And in 2014, Stuart Broad, this is the test series between India, Sri Lanka, and England. So this is
Test series.
Stuart.
2003
हाँ ये पता नहीं ये लोग का टेस्ट
जो भी
सीरीज चल रहा था स्टुअर्ट ब्रॉड
ट्राई
एंड
सीरीज
कोट.
होगा.
हाँ ट्राई सीरीज था वेयर आई स्टुअर्ट ब्रॉड का कोट मैं बोल रहा हूँ. आई स्लेप्ट ओके ड्यूरिंग द करंट टेस्ट अगेंस्ट इंडिया बट द श्रीलंका टेस्ट लास्ट मंथ was not great. One night I woke up in the middle of the night around 1:30 a.m. and I was convinced there was a presence in the room. It was the weirdest feeling. So apparently what had happened was he was sleeping and Stuart Broad saw rहा है. Suddenly he's woken up by a light in the room. He's like, what the fuck is this light? I switched off all the lights. And you know, when you switch the lights off in a hotel room, it really goes black.
Dark.
The light jal raha hai, he opens his eyes and he sees a floating ball, which is hilarious for
Classic.
Stuart Broad. It's just a
Classic
floating,
Stuart Broad.
glowing ball in the middle of the room. And he hears all the
What was the
taps.
seam position?
Just
Was it an in
very
swinger or out swinger?
So he hears all the taps in the room that are on. तो ये इसकी फट जाती है. ये भाग के जाता है मैट प्रायर के रूम में. मैट प्रायर को पूछता है कि भाई ये मेरे रूम में हो रहा. मैट प्रायर सेज द सेम थिंग and they end up sleeping in the same room. And in the morning, they found out a bunch of cricketers on the team had the same experience. In fact, to the point that their wives and girlfriends had refused to come anyway. And all these guys are like, "Arey, tum log kya dar rahe ho?" And they had decided to stay there. And now, blanket ban on the Langham by the England cricket team.
Fuck.
And apparently, it has 7 ghosts. One of them is a
Wow.
German doctor who murdered his wife and killed
लेकिन
himself.
सब बॉलर है क्या? सबको बॉल ही दिख रहा है.
सबको बॉल नहीं नहीं. So there's one.
बैट्समैन को भी बॉल दिख रहा है, बॉलर को भी
There's
बॉल दिख
7
रहा है.
ghosts here, and one of them is a German doctor who, in the honeymoon suite, had murdered his wife and then murdered himself. Okay. There's another ghost who wears Victorian evening wear and roams around in room 333 and only appears around October. वो
ये क्या
seasonal
specific?
vacation लेने के लिए लैंगम आता है.
But all ghosts come together and say, भाई लोग आज तो फील्डिंग सेट है.
फील्डिंग में
एक नेपोलियन द थर्ड का है who was a former guest at the hotel and haunts the basement of the hotel.
अबे you were a guest at one point, bro. Like, come on, move
How,
on.
what is your journey
Napoleon.
from guest to ghost?
Yeah. Meaning, that is serious loyalty points, man.
Yeah. Bro, tell me one thing. Pati Patni or Ghost is a movie waiting to happen, no?
Yeah.
How
Arey,
how
abhi,
has
now that you have
Rajkumar
said
Rao
it,
not
you
been
have-
cast?
हाँ?
How has
Pati Patni और
Rajkumar Rao
Ghost?
not been cast for this?
क्योंकि
That's
पति
a-
पत्नी और वो था, फिर अभी एक पति पत्नी और वो दोनों आया.
हाँ.
अभी इसका एक सीक्वल
3.
में तो एक तो हॉरर वर्जन आएगा ही ना.
हाँ.
पति पत्नी और घोस्ट. ब्रो कम ऑन.
Come on. Now that
वो
you've
लोग
said,
दोनों
by the way,
वेकेशन पे जाते हैं फ्रॉम द ट्रॉमा ऑफ पति पत्नी और वो दो एंड नाउ दे मेड अप एंड दे लाइक हम वेकेशन पे जाएंगे और होटल पे पहुंचते हैं और पति पत्नी और गोस्ट.
and the plot is that the patni thinks that the pati is having an affair with a woman in a sari.
Yeah.
Turns out that's the ghost. Oh,
That's the ghost. Correct.
cracked it.
Yeah.
And now she has to fight the ghost to keep her husband.
We've
That's the
cracked
second
it,
half.
guys. अगर ये movie बना, please clip this and send it to all producers because we are taking them to court.
Yeah. Where we won't get anything
Yeah.
But we'll get to see the inside of court.
of a court. And we'll get to say Milord. Milord.
By Kautuk, if you are so excited about seeing the inside of a court, just release material that you've been holding on to.
I take everything back. Okay. Should we go back to the horrors?
Yes, please.
Other.
Okay.
Okay. So I would like to start off with a Japanese chudel. This is a chudel from this is from 1603. This is where the legend starts. Okay. And in 1979, this gained like a lot of steam because a lot of school children were being killed while coming back from school alone by the slit mouth woman, also known as Kuchisake Onna. So now there are multiple stories around every legend. There are three stories with this particular legend. एक है that she was the ugly, jealous sister of a very beautiful Japanese woman. Another one is that she had a botched surgery. You will know why in a second. But the most popular one is from the Edo period in Japan. Now I'll tell you why the botched surgery is important. Because this is Kuchisake Onna. So she is known by the fact that her smile keeps extending with a tear across her cheeks.
Joker.
Weirdly, Christopher Nolan, considering the amount of Japanese anime and stuff he gets inspired by, this might have been a possibility that he took this as a reference for the Joker. A lot of people say that the Joker makeup and the styling was probably taken from this particular legend. So, in the Edo period in Japan, 1603, there was a very, very beautiful woman. And she had a samurai husband, very strong warrior. But the problem was, even though she loved him, he was so popular in his battles and things like that, that he was so good that he was constantly going for wars and battles. And that led her to become very lonely. And now, because she was lonely, she decided, I am not going to do this. I'm going to continue having companionship. So she decided to start having suitors. But she would go with only men who are extremely strong and powerful. To the point where now a reputation had been created that she is somebody, like if you are somewhere on the upper scale, because she's extremely beautiful, it became like she's this very, very high scale prostitute in a way. But not, because she's choosing the guy who's going to sleep with her. So the men would really try to outdo each other to win her affection. So now one day her husband comes back from a battle, and instead of going home, he decides to go celebrate with his mates. अब वो celebration कर रहा है. One of the other samurai tells him, "You did really, really great today, and today you deserve something special. I will tell you where to go tonight." And the samurai is like, "Okay." So the husband goes with this second samurai. और उसको लेके जा रहा है. बोलता है, I have to make you meet this incredibly beautiful woman who will show you like some stuff that you've not even dreamed about. उसको लेके जा रहा है. धीरे धीरे the samurai realizes, wait, ये तो मेरे घर के बहुत पास है. How do I not know of this woman? And slowly, slowly, the husband gets to his house. And now the husband is dreading because now his friend has stopped. And he points to his red door and says, "She lives here. Go inside."
Shit.
This guy is overcome with rage. And the samurai kicks down his own door. And he finds that his wife, this incredibly beautiful woman that he loves, is with another man. Now this guy he's so angry. He's still like from the battle. He's still covered in blood. He's still warmongering. Takes out his katana, kills the lover, and then goes to his wife. And the wife is like, "Oh my God, are you going to kill me now?" And the husband is like, "No. You think you're so beautiful?" He asks her this question and then takes his katana and slices her cheeks. That's how she gets those scars. And because of the bleeding, she dies. But she didn't leave that place. She continued haunting. And now what she does is she keeps looking for men who are alone and then goes up behind them. And you can hear her coming in very delicately. Then most men turn around and she's always covering her face. So from here, she's like as beautiful as you could imagine. तो अपना फेस ऐसे या तो एक हैंकरचिप से नहीं तो एक फैन से कवर करके रखती है. And then she asks the question, Watashikire, which means, am I beautiful? Now, if you say no, she will kill you with scissors right there on the spot. And she carries these massive scissors with her. But if you say yes, then she will ask, Kore demo, which means even now. And she asks that after removing her masks and spreading out her big smile, baring her teeth. And at that point, if you say no, then wapas scissors. But if you say yes, she will slice a smile which is similar to hers on your face. So there is no way to escape Kuchisake Onna.
Oh man.
But people have said that they have escaped.
By saying what? Maybe.
अबे कुसेसाके
Yes.
ओना नहीं है.
So that is what it is. You have to be ambiguous with your answer. So if you're walking alone in Japan and a very beautiful woman with a mask comes up to you and asks, "Am I beautiful?" You have to say, "Mama." वो तो वैसे ही निकलेगा क्योंकि
अबे
वैसे डर लग रहा है तो मामा तो ऐसे निकलने वाला है.
मम्मा क्यों बोलूंगा उसको?
Mama means so.
Oh, so you're telling me I'm going to tell a murderous fucking scissor wielding ghost that she is
Because
so.
now she can't decide. You didn't give a yes or no answer. She functions. She's a binary system. It's either one or a zero. She can't work with these quantum fluctuations. और वैसे भी वो
Nice.
सीजर तो पीछे छुपा के रख रही है ना. तो
अबे अभी मुझे मालूम है ना, अभी कुछ सीजर लेके तो आई है. सीजर और ऐसे फैन लेके आई है. मेरे को पूछ रही है क्या?
So you must always say mama, which is so. So she gets confused. Another way to escape her is to give her bikoame. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, which is a
You're
Japanese
definitely
sweet.
not.
I'm sure I'm not. Which is a Japanese sweet. So you can either hand it to her or throw it on the ground. She gets confused because she's so attracted to the sweet and you can run away. Another way to escape is to say pomade. The pomade is this thing that it's like an oily discharge from your hair and she hates the smell. And if you say pomade 3 times, she'll hate it and she'll run away.
Where am I supposed to get this fucking
No, you
oil
just say
from
it.
my hair?
You just say it.
Oh.
She hates the smell. Even the mention of it drives her crazy.
Bro, who was the first guy who discovered that this was a way out?
Yeah.
अरे वो
Going
बाद
through
में
his
बहुत तेल
head.
लगा के आता होएगा.
So bro, imagine this guy. She's like, कैसी दिख रही हूँ? And
He's
he's
like,
like, मेरे बाल में थोड़ा तेल आ रहा है. And she's like, ये नहीं बोलना,
हाँ
ये
तो उसको
नहीं
स्मेल
बोलना.
नहीं आ रहा था ना. up till she had the mask उसको स्मेल नहीं आ रहा था. जैसे उसने हटाया and भाग गई वो. So that's where it's like भाई मैं बच गया. And the
oily and
final
sticky
way.
dandruff.
हेड एंड शोल्डर्स चल रहा है जापान में. एक बार और कौन सी मिठाई लेके जानी है?
मिठाई
के
मैं
लेके
जा
जानी
रहा हूँ
है
अभी 2 महीने में जा रहा हूँ जापान. तुम ये
बिकोआ
सब
में.
रेडी रखो.
बिकोआ में.
बिकोआ में बोलूं कि
बिकोआ
लेके
में.
जाऊं?
हाँ
अरे
लेके जा.
बिकाजी है
भिकाजी
बिकाजी
भिकाजी.
स्वीट्स. बिकाजी स्वीट्स लेके जा.
इसका नाम क्या है लड़की का?
Kuchisake Onna.
इसके साथ कुछ ना कुछ तो होना ही है।
कुछ ना कुछ तो होना.
क्या क्या करूं? हाय Kuchisake Onna.
Kuchisake Onna. And the final way to escape her, if she
Oh,
comes up to
fuck.
you have to say, I am in a hurry. And she
अरे,
will respectfully
चल
bow
नहीं।
how
and let you
considerate,
go.
yeah. Bro, this is,
चले
you know,
टाइम खोटी मत कर।
this is
टाइम
such
नहीं
a, you know, when you're at the mall or someplace and they, you know, they approach you saying, do you have 2 minutes to hear about credit card?
हाँ.
And you're like, I don't have time.
नहीं. Already
No, I have to say I have the card. I have the
I
card.
mean,
So is that, do you want a better version of the card? I said I have the best version.
I have everything that you are.
sir,
Oh,
is this
fuck
card
it.
the best? So. ऐसे
चूतिए, उन लोग को इतने लोग ने रिजेक्ट किया है, वो निकालेगा छुरी लेके तेरे को एयरपोर्ट पे ही मारेगा। क्रेडिट कार्ड नहीं ले रहा है
कैची
एसबीआई का,
कैची
ले क्या 100 बोल रहा है, मैं 15 घंटे से खड़ा हूं, कोई नहीं ले रहा क्रेडिट कार्ड।
Okay.
अब तो ये बच्चों को क्यों मार रही है लेकिन?
So apparently there was a crazy person at that time because they apparently made an arrest. So I think somebody looked at this legend and a psychopath decided to imitate her. And
So I
they
was,
actually arrested a woman who was going after children with a scissor.
oh God, terrible, terrifying. By the way, you know, you were telling that story, and I was like, all I could think of was this is Dark Knight meets Akshay Kumar's Rustam.
Yeah. There's another movie, ना उसमें same ही है, the guy catches his wife in bed with another dude, kills the lover, kills her, and then
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank.
Oh,
Shawshank.
Shashank.
Shawshank Redemption.
Fuck.
Okay, right. So now we move from Japan to Beijing
As you do.
for our next story, and this tale takes place in the November of 1995. Now, as is the rule and the norm in ghost stories, the particular night of November 1995 that we are talking about was a dark and stormy night. Now, on this dark and stormy night, there's a young man who's desperate to catch a bus. Okay, this bus is going to take him all the way to his home, which was in Fragrant Hills in this one particular district of Beijing. Now, the reason he's so frantic to catch this bus is because this is the absolute last bus of the night. Okay, somehow, with good luck, he makes it to the stop just as the bus pulls in. Okay, he gets onto the bus and he notices that the bus, because it's the last one, it's fairly empty. There's only an old lady and the conductor and the driver. Now he takes a seat and the bus starts moving. Now, as it begins to move, a little distance later, the bus passes two men on the road. Now, initially, the bus passes those men, but the driver, he thinks about the fact that this is the last bus. In case these two men need a ride, I'll slow down. And he slows down, and as he slows down, these men enter the bus. And when they enter, the young man who had boarded the bus, he realizes that they were not two men, they were actually three. And they're a very odd trio. So the young man notices that two of the men who have boarded the bus, they look very distinctly as if they were from the King dynasty. And so they have their head tonsured except for hair at the back, which they have braided. And they've got these robes on. And the third man seems to be passed out. Okay, he's got long hair that's falling in front of him, and he's being propped up by these two men. Now they enter the bus and they wordlessly move past the conductor, they move past the old lady, and they move past this man, and they settle down toward the back of the bus. Now the bus starts, and so far everything has been fine. And as the bus starts, this young man, slightly curious, he asks the conductor, why do you think they look that way? making this conversation. The conductor says, you know what, there's a theater nearby. Maybe these people are actors who have not had the time to change. They want to catch the last bus. So probably they've boarded this. Now, as they're having this conversation, the young man notices that the old woman who's sitting in front of him is constantly looking behind. Okay? She's constantly looking behind. And then at one point, she says something very odd. She loudly accuses the young man of stealing from her purse. Now, this man has had nothing to do with this old lady. He is incensed. He can't believe that she's accused him of robbery. He starts shouting back at her. He says, "What do you mean? I have done nothing of this sort." The two of them begin arguing. She is raising her voice equally high and she says, "You have definitely stolen it. And if you think that you are so innocent, then come with me to the nearest police station." Now, this screaming match has become too much, and the conductor tells him that if you want to get off right now. So he stops the bus. The lady gets down. This young man, determined to see this through to its conclusion, who wants to take her to the police station and prove that he has done nothing wrong, gets down with her. Now, as soon as the bus doors close and the bus moves on, the old lady's demeanor completely changes. She suddenly becomes very calm. And the young man is like, "I have not stolen anything. You come with me right now to the police station." And she's like, "No need. I know that you have done nothing wrong." So he is now taken aback. And he says, "What is the meaning of this?" So she says, "I just wanted to get you off the bus." So he says, "Why?" So she says, "Remember the three men who boarded the bus?" He says, "Yes." So she says, "I kept looking back. And at one point, a gust of wind blew in through a window. And when it did, it raised the robes of one of these men. And she saw that they didn't have feet. And she knew that something was wrong. So she got him off the bus by doing this she made up this story. Now, the two of them would thank their lucky stars because the next day it appears in the paper that this particular bus 375, the last one that was heading to Fragrant Hills, has not made it back to the depot. People are still looking for this bus. They searched for days. Police have searched for days. They searched for weeks. Months later, the bus is found at the bottom of a lake that was thousands of kilometers away from Fragrant Hills. And in the bus, you find the bodies of a conductor, a driver, and a man with long hair.
Oh.
So that's the urban legend of bus number 375, a ghost bus of Beijing.
भाई आंटी ने तो बचाया मस्त.
Yeah. But and I like how auntie's empathy only extended till young man.
Young man.
He's like,
हाँ
driver and
ड्राइवर
conductor.
बेचारा कंडक्टर कुछ नहीं.
Yeah, you're on your own, buddies.
You think because they stopped for them, she's like, "ये driver, you brought this onto yourself." मैं यहाँ पे पीछे पीछे भाग के आती हूँ, तू साला रुकता नहीं है. ये रैंडम तीन आदमी एक आदमी को लेके जा रहे ड्रैग करके दो आदमी.
Bro, I came across a bunch of these really short, like, horror stories. There was one where this guy had written his experience. So basically, he has this routine: goes to work, comes back home, eats dinner, watches TV, changes into his night clothes, has a sleeping pill, goes to sleep. Yet, literally, pretty much every night, his eye opens and he can see a woman in front of him walking back and forth, but all the while looking at him.
Oh shit.
He can see it and he is absolutely paralyzed to be able to do anything. So the first time it happened, he got scared, so he turned around, looked up, but as he opened his eyes and he looked up, he could see her looking down at him. Another time he's looked to the side. No matter which side he looks, he can always see her. It's now almost become routine that this is going to happen. He's going to get up, he's going to see, he's going to get scared, he's going to sweat, eventually pass out, wake up in the morning, and it's that same thing that he keeps going on and on with. Except this one time, he goes off to sleep, on cue, eyes open. This time she's not walking. This time she is parallel to him on the bed. And even though it's dark, he can see her face. And he can see the rage in her eyes. Manages to get up. As he is walking, the furthest he is able to go is to his door. He's not able to go beyond that. He's not able to go beyond that. He turns around. She is there. She looks at him, her lips are purple, and she tells him this one line, which is, "You should not have killed me." Turns out that this dude, true story, turns out that this dude was driving one night, obeyed the signals, crossed an intersection, and this girl came running out of nowhere because she was running away from, we don't know what, something. And it's one of those small alleyways that come, you don't expect some. He wasn't wrong. He was driving as per, oh, light is green, I'm going to go straight. She's come out of nowhere, banged, looked down, and he remembers seeing her face. And that's the face that haunts him. Because it's not like he hit her and he ran away. He called the cops. And luckily there were street cameras. So it has been captured and you can see it very clearly that she came out. So it's accidental manslaughter or whatever. So he gets off because he wasn't in the wrong. But his internal guilt, because regardless of what happens and how you got off and whatever, some person has died. And you were at the wheel of the car they came under. So you know what I mean? And it's in the night, so he wasn't wrong at all. अंधेरा है, कोई आया, what तू क्या कर सकता है? But the
Thakur,
grief is, huh?
all your stories have been full trauma maxing.
हाँ
I think मेरा एल्गो में वैसा हो गया. एक बार एक देखा तो उधर से दूसरा.
Yeah.
There was another story. Basically, and this is very short. There's a house, and there's this small 6-year-old girl. She's up in her room, and she's playing with the toys, and sab chal raha hai, it's evening time, and suddenly she can hear her name being called out by her mom, who asks her to come down because dinner's ready. So she gets excited, she keeps her toys, her door is there, gets off the bed, runs to the door, opens it's already ajar, opens the door, and she has to run through the top and then to the stairs which go down. But on the way, there is another room in the middle. So as she's running out of the room, this door opens and she's pulled in. Door shut, her mouth has been closed, and she's scared because suddenly she's been pulled into the laundry room. And then little light comes and she's able to see that it's actually her mom.
Oh shit!
And she's like, "Don't make any noise. I heard her too."
Yeah, अच्छा, this is a great short film. Like this is a very 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 good short film.
Yeah.
अच्छा, एक तुम लोग ने बस किया, कार किया, मेरे पास एक ट्रेन है.
Oh, come on.
So this is a 20-year-old legend again from Japan, and Japanese train is famous for how much it is on time.
Shinkansen.
So this is local train. So this legend started off in 2004, and it was reported on news channels and stuff like that because multiple people have had experiences like this. And it starts off with this girl called Hasumi. And she made a post from inside the train car, and it is a train that she takes regularly from work to her house. And the train wasn't stopping for a very, very long time. Just kept going to the point where she's like, I don't know who to reach out to. There's no conductor, there's no driver I can just go to. So she started posting on the internet forum about like issues. So complain kar rahi hai on the forum. And users started responding to her while she was on the train. So she's putting it up and she's like, the train hasn't made a stop even for it's been an hour. And she departed from the Hamamtsu station. Shim Hamamtsu station. Abeb. Now the train stopped after an hour. And everyone, she's like constantly posting, hey, the train has finally stopped. I was like, what's the name of the station? Says Kisaragi Station. And it's completely deserted. There's no staff, nobody, just an empty station. And she's the only one apparently on the train. And she's asking people, what should I do next? Users are constantly going, stay on the train, do not leave, please do not leave. And the train is not moving. She has to get home, it's getting late. So she decides to get out. And bahar se she will catch a cab and go home. She starts walking around on the road, no cab, nothing. Ultimately, she gets to a telephone booth because there's no signal on her phone anymore to actually make a call. Every time she's trying to make a call, nothing. She's tweeting on the forum. She can get through those. She's putting out posts, but she can't make a call to anybody. तो जाती है and she uses the phone booth to make a call to her father, asking him to come pick her up. But when she mentions the station, they can't find it on the map. They don't know what the place is. It's called Hasumi area में Kisaragi Station. And they're like, we can't find anything on the map. So now she's getting really scared. And now she starts hearing a bell and a drum beat. Keeps getting louder slowly. के दूर से कुछ आ रहा है. So she decides to escape on foot. So she gets onto the train tracks and decides to run along the train tracks to the next station. As soon as she starts running, somebody screams, hey, don't walk on the tracks, it is dangerous. She turns around and she sees that it's a man who's walking towards her, but then when she notices, he has only one leg. And then suddenly, like, she blinks and he's gone. Now she gets so scared because now she can't head back to the train also. So she starts running further away into the tunnel. And बीच में गिरती है, she hurts herself. Now she's stumbling, walking, and then suddenly at the end of the tunnel, she sees a man. Man comes and he's like, and he seems very nice. And he offers to help her, takes her arm around his shoulder, and the two return back to Kisaragi station. Okay, let's sit on the train. There is nowhere else to sit. So they go back, sit on the train, आराम से बैठते. And she's like, I need to reach my family somehow. He's like, no, you can use my phone once we get on the train. They sit. And now she's waiting for the man to hand her his phone. But the man keeps talking. He's talking about like I've come from here. I'm trying to like do something with my life. And then suddenly, after chatty, he suddenly starts muttering gibberish. Just random gibberish. And then he becomes silent. And he's just sitting there still. And now Hashumi decides to make her final post at that time. And this is the post. My battery is almost run out. Things are getting strange, so I think I'm going to make a run for it. He's been talking to himself about bizarre things for a while now. To prepare for just the right time, I'm going to make this my last post for now. After that, nothing. And there is no trace of Ashumi. No body, nothing. She just disappeared off the face of the earth.
This is the kind of dream you have when you fall asleep on a Virar fast. and then
Just
you know,
wake
like
up straight.
you wake up straight and with a
Hard.
So there's a bunch of reporters who decided to. So this might, there's no Kisaragi station, but apparently a lot of these incidents match another station, which reporters have spoken of.
identified.
Yeah, so it's like the urban legend stemmed from Shigenomiya. Shigenomiya station might be the model based on which the Kisaragi station urban legend has been amplified with.
Wow.
मजेदार भाई. मैं जापान ट्रिप के पहले तो मेरे को ये सब सुना रहा है. मैं नहीं जाऊंगा
I,
किसरागी.
I have one last Japanese story, but I'll come to that in a bit.
Huh.
Before that, I want to take one short detour. Okay,
Huh.
and this time we'll jump time and space and we'll hear the story, which is called The Adventures of the German Student. So, this story, the titular German student, his name was Gottfried Wolfgang. So, young Gottfried Wolfgang decides to head to Paris to pursue his studies. He boards this train, reaches Paris, and arrives there. There's a lot of fanfare, and because there's a lot of people out in Paris, it's an exciting time. And what happens is that he settles into Parisian life, and one day in the evening, he's headed out for a walk, and he reaches the square in Paris. And at the hour that he's come, the square is fairly empty. And he sees that there is this woman who is sitting next to this. Uh, she's sitting next to a sort of like a this scaffolding. She's sitting next to it, and she's got her head in her hands, and she's looking distraught. So Gottfried Wolfgang, being a nice, kind-hearted student, engages her in conversation. They get talking, and they eventually, he seems to really like her. They go out for dinner, and then she comes back to his place. Now, throughout the evening, he's noticed that she's very elegantly dressed, and her elegance reaches its absolute pinnacle because she has this black sash around her neck, which is studded with diamonds. It's this sort of like a very thick necklace that she has. And they make love. And he falls asleep. The next morning, when he wakes up, he sees that she's cold to the touch. So he tries to rouse her. He sees that there is no breath. She's dead. At this point, he calls the authorities. The French cops come in, and when they take off that black necklace, they see that there was a slit that had gone right through her neck and her head rolled off. And the reason this had happened was because Gottfried Wolfgang had arrived in France during the French Revolution. And he had arrived at a square where a beheading had taken place earlier that day. And the scaffolding under which he had found the woman was the guillotine.
Oh.
So that is the story of a German student.
But imagine, think about the guillotine, bro. What an instrument. देखो मान में जब भी हम लोग पेरिस में थे ना, on one of our walking tours, we had gone to an area where they actually showed the street was at a slight like
Decline.
incline, decline,
Decline.
right? Because जो एरिया थी वहाँ गियोटिन होता था. एक बार या और खून निकल रहा है, you want the blood to run down into the drainage.
Oh,
And he had
natural
shown us the
drainage.
हाँ
Natural
खून.
drainage.
Imagine.
Oh shit. भाई
मजेदार।
तू
तो
सिटी प्लानिंग जब कर रहा होता है, ये लोग के बेचारे सिविल इंजीनियर, सर
अपने
इसको
इधर
थोड़ा
रोड
ये
नहीं
बना,
बन रहे, उन लोग बोल रहे हैं भाई गेट इन के बाद खून तो बराबर ड्रेनेज में जाना चाहिए, ठीक है।
समझ,
सर
बीएमसी,
मैं सॉल्व करता हूँ
बीएमसी
भाई।
वहां पे पेरिस में गिलेटिन के लिए, वहां पे
यू नो
सर उड़ के नीचे पॉटहोल में अटक गया, अरे सर वापस पॉटहोल में अटक गया।
नो एंड द थिंग इज कि you know that a complaint went from the citizens कि यार
या
मैं रोज निकलता हूँ, रोज खून पड़ा रहता है मेरे घर के बाहर, कि ये ऐसा नहीं चलेगा यार, तुम्हें गिलिटिन करना है तो फिर कुछ तो करो यार, खून निकलना चाहिए। And the solution was cool, we'll continue with the guillotine, we'll
ऐसे नहीं कि
solve
नहीं
the
बंद कर
blood
देगा,
problem.
हाँ।
Yeah, yeah.
हाँ, रास्ते में थोड़ा ऐसे कर देगा, 4-5 और नाले बना देते ड्रेनेज, तो उस पर चले,
हाँ
टेंशन मत लो आप। सर तो कटते रहेंगे भाई।
you know, these guys, the citizens come out and they go like, they're losing their heads and we're losing our minds. Get it together, French BMC.
मजेदार। तो अभी और कुछ करना है कि करे रैपीज?
I have one. I promised a Japanese story,
हाँ
but we could always do it another time. So
या
we will leave it on cliffhanger.
आई ऑल्सो हैव अ सेकंड स्टोरी, which is the gateway of hell. So
Oh, the gateway of hell.
we will do it next time.
पक्का?
Yeah.
Yes.
क्या क्लिफ हैंगर पे छोड़ा है गाइस। देखो, आपने घोस्ट स्टोरीज मांगा, हमने घोस्ट स्टोरीज दिया, लेकिन सारे घोस्ट स्टोरीज एक टाइम पे बोल देंगे तो क्या मजा है,
Yeah.
राइट? तो आज के लिए इतने ही घोस्ट स्टोरीज। वी हैव अ होल बंच ऑफ अदर्स लेफ्ट, तो उसको करेंगे हम लोग एक और पार्ट में वेरी वेरी सून। सो या, होप यू गाइस एंजॉयड दिस। अगर आपके पास कोई घोस्ट स्टोरी है दैट यू थिंक वी शुड नो अबाउट सो दैट वी कैन टेल इट टू अदर पीपल, लेट अस नो इन द कमेंट्स। एंड या, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर
Write, am I
वाचिंग, विल सी
beautiful
यू
in the
अगेन
comments,
नेक्स्ट
guys?
वीक।
Please write, am I beautiful?
कोशी काकी क्या है? कोशी काकी नहीं, क्या
कुचिसाके,
है वो?
कुचिसाके होना।
हाँ,
क्या
कोची
करूँ
साके
हाय,
होना को
क्या
तुम
करूँ
क्या
हाय,
जवाब
कुचिसाके
दोगे?
होना और am I beautiful? लिखो।
कोची साके होना है, कुछ तो होना है। चलो, मजेदार। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग गाइस, विल सी यू अगेन नेक्स्ट वीक। अंटिल देन इज गुड बाय, टेक केयर, टाटा, सलाम इश्क।
तुम लोग को पता है क्या, जो एक स्टोरी है जहाँ पे 9th फ्लोर ऑफ अ हीरानंदानी अपार्टमेंट, मीरा रोड और
हम्म।
दहिसर के बीच में एक बिल्डिंग है जो अबैंडन हो गया
हाँ।
है, क्योंकि वहां पे एक लड़का लाइक आलिफ आतिफ करके एक कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर था, वो मर गया था 9th फ्लोर से। सो नोबडी कुड गो ऑन द 9th फ्लोर। और अभी जो भी ट्रेन पे जाता है दहिसर के तरफ, दे कैन सी द 9th फ्लोर का लाइट चमक रहा है। सो
ब्रो,
गाइस,
आई डोंट थिंक हॉन्टेड है, आई थिंक बिल्डिंग खाली है, क्योंकि मीरा रोड दहिसर
That is prime real estate, dude.
में।
या, और हीरानंदानी है।